Hello and welcome to another episode of No Load Time. My name is Howard Velez, and with me is the most interesting man in the world, Joel Young.
What's good? No load time. Obed, good to be back with you, man. How you doing?
Good to be here. I'm good, except for my back again. If you're a fan of the show, you would know of my struggles.
Insert the Toby Maguire. I'm back.
Yeah,
I back.
yeah. Remember the good old days, man, when I still had was on those like heavy pain meds for my back, and I would come into the podcast all loopy and yeah. Those were the days.
Definitely good old days.
Good old day,
There's a
yeah.
way to phrase it.
Good old days.
When you were in the closet. Nah.
Yeah. If you go back, probably 4 years back, like I'd say around episode 30. Yeah, like from like 30 to like 50. Yeah, those episodes, man. I mean, it's a rough listen now, but hey, you've grown with us, so
It's
we're,
another form
we're
of
good.
entertainment, right?
Absolutely, especially when you're high on Percocet. uh, no,
Oh
I'm
boy.
I'm good.
Great.
I'm managing the back pain, not too bad,
Good, good.
but doing well, man. How are you doing?
Good, good. Man, I'm doing good too. Been busy as well. So it's one of those times I think for both of us where we're just kind of, pushing through. I got to watch on Netflix the new Luther movie with Idris Elba. So
They
it's based off of, the original BBC Luther
the show, yeah.
show that happened in 2010, continuation. Bro, I was not prepared for this movie, dude. It's intense.
Really? Okay.
And not so Andy Serkis is in it. And I'm not gonna spoil anything, right?
Okay.
Right? Andy Serkis is the main villain in the movie. It is like I honestly was thinking to myself, like, okay, does somebody who's involved with like the Batman comics, something like involved in any of that type of DC side of things, involved in the creative for this? Because it was so much like a Batman arc and story. And Andy
Wow.
Serkis sold me on like if you needed someone to be the Joker, that man was without doing the laugh thing because he doesn't do the whole
Yeah.
laugh and whatever. He's more serious. Like bro, totally the Joker. There Luther himself, is a great detective.
Yeah, I heard that
Going
show's real
through.
good. I never watched it, but I heard it's really good.
That's the thing. I didn't watch the original show. I can't lie. I'm familiar with it, but I didn't watch it. But I don't think you needed to have watched the show to watch the movie. The movie works fine on its own. It was a good standalone. I recommend it on Netflix, and I don't recommend much on Netflix these days. But you
That's
just need
interesting.
something to watch. You need
Yeah.
something to watch that's new. Not one to watch with the kids though.
Oh no.
Extremely brutal.
Yeah, I
But
would think so. Yeah, I would think that would
but
be the
let me
case.
tell you, what a movie, man.
That's
I
cool.
mean, I thought that was like Arkham Asylum, Arkham Knight. Like, there's moments of
Damn, dude.
things, Clash of the Games. Yeah, I can go on and on about that, but yeah, got to see that movie. Um, I got to also see the 65 movie, the Adam Driver one, and
Turok Dinosaur Hunter.
yeah, it is so. So, have you seen A Quiet Place yet?
I have not. No.
Okay, obviously recommending both of them. The first one's though really, really good. It's like people like horror and they like suspense, but most of the time when you think of horror and suspense, it's always like supernatural and like some kids possessed or some crazy thing like that. But I don't know. I think that the way that like the Quiet Place movies do their storyline is gives you the same type of suspense you might have in some of these other supernatural things, but it's not grounded without spoiling what it actually is that they are facing in those movies.
Yeah.
But it's it's not nothing like that. But yeah. So with this one, my point being is with this new movie 65, it's from the same creative team from A Quiet Place, in my understanding.
Okay.
And you can really tell. The dinosaurs are exactly like the creatures in A Quiet Place. They use them in a similar way. Not much dialogue, and I think that they probably saved a lot of money just having most of the money go probably to Adam and the young girl that's with him, the actress. And it's like it gives you a little Last of Us, it gives you a little Quiet Place. There's a lot of issues with the story and connectivity. So it's not really a good movie from that standpoint, but it's a good suspense movie. I
Cool.
thought the suspense elements were some of the best parts of it. So, fan of A Quiet Place, make sure you check out 65.
Cool. Cool. I also watched the movie. A movie that I've been wanting to watch for a while. I got a Blu-ray copy of Dragon Ball Super Superhero,
Oh, tell
and
me.
it was really good. It's really good. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that it's probably the best Dragon Ball movie
Mm.
because it's it's the Dragon Ball movie that actually feels like a movie, right? Like it's done. It feels like it was done from the ground up as a theatrical release, and it was very very good, Joe. It was very good, like to the point where even if you have passing knowledge and passing interest in Dragon Ball, you would still enjoy it.
Wow.
Like I mean, because they do a little bit of a recap at the beginning, right? Because uh, the whole Red Ribbon Army is so far removed from uh, I guess contemporary lore. I mean, not even. I mean, the only it was brought up during Cell, right, in Z and Super at the beginning with Pilaf and whatnot, but but it doesn't like it's more of an arc from the original Dragon Ball series, and you know you have a little recap at the beginning. There's a whole like you know, kind of like Robotnik Knuckles thing going on with the villains and all that. And it was really well done. It was really cool. Like they dropped, dude. They dropped there was a huge lore drop. If
Oh,
you're a fan of the Dragon Ball Fighters, there's a lore drop. It's a frame, dude. It's a frame for
wow.
like 2 seconds. I had to rewind it, and I was screaming. I was like,
They did.
"No, what?" It was nuts. It was really good. Um, I recommend watching it. Honestly, I think
Mm.
it's on Crunchyroll. If it's not on Crunchyroll yet, I think it's gonna be out soon. But you know, I was able to manage it and grab a copy on Blu-ray. It was really good. I loved it because like my two favorite Dragon Ball characters were the stars of the show. You know, it's Piccolo and Gohan, and
Mm.
you know, I'm a huge Piccolo mark. Like if you know, I think I would say that Piccolo is probably my favorite Dragon Ball character. Because of you know he's the one that really has um. I mean, Vegeta does too, but Piccolo's arc is, I think, to a grander scale than Vegeta's. If you ask me, it's you know kind of it's weird, but I just love Piccolo so much. And then Gohan is it's like so good. Like he's my favorite out of all the you know the Saiyans, but the way that they did it, like only letdown, right? It was like the ending was so hype that I wanted it to be longer.
Mm.
But then I realized that they've been fighting for like 45 minutes already. I was like, okay, it's fine, you know.
But I want
Yeah, but I
more.
want more. Yeah, to cut it short, right? And I like the other movie, the Broly movie from Dragon Ball Super. I like that one too. Um, you know the old Dragon Ball movies, with the exception of you know maybe the first Broly movie and the you know Metal Cooler, they're very hit and miss. Those movies are more cash grabs more than anything. The you know, but this one just feels like a you know it was done with love, and the animation is really good. It's CG because it's you know it's all CG, cell shaded, and it looks good. I A lot of people complain about that because the Broly movie was you know traditionally animated, but you know had some CG here and there, but it was mostly traditional, and it looked it's still that movie is it's, you know visually is very striking, so it's very cool. But this one, you know, for the CG, for the first time that they've done CG on Dragon Ball, it felt good. Man, it looked good. You know, nothing. I have no complaints. Honestly, it was great. The pacing was good. It's like even the pacing, dude. The pacing sometimes is off in these kind of sort of movies, and it just felt right. And I was like, oh man, this was really good. Like overall, like I even let the credits roll all the way there, and it's like, oh yeah, okay. It's like, and then it had a stinger at the end. I was like, great, okay, so that's cool. But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. So yeah, it was good. I'm very happy. So as a old school Dragon Ball fan, I highly recommend it. So I do hope that they either continue doing movies or I mean there's three arcs or two complete arcs on the Dragon Ball Super manga that are not animated yet. So hopefully they can probably get those going because yeah, fans want more. And this movie was good. Like this movie was like number one that weekend, right, or something when it came out on the movie on the
Oh
theaters.
yeah, it was huge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um.
it was
So
up there for a while.
yeah, I mean it's definitely like I could see it, right? So it was good. It gets my seal of approval for that movie. So I'm good. Yeah, two thumbs up from me. Yeah, cool. Do you want to talk Mando first, or you want to talk Bad Batch? Let's talk about Bad Batch because to me it was
Yeah,
kind of inconsequential.
yeah, yeah,
um, it was a good episode, right?
yeah.
I think it's opening the possibilities to, maybe this is where a lot of clones end up being, that
Mm-hmm.
sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't really know where they're going, right? With the whole what was the name of the planet?
Oh, I
Paulo?
don't even
Was it
remember.
Paulo or Polo, something like that?
Yeah.
Um, and overall it was fine. I have nothing else to say. It was fine. It just doesn't really add to anything. I mean, I'm hoping that it does for the future because the characters that were introduced were, I think that they were interesting. So, but I really don't see too much there.
Yeah, I think that you hit it on the head when you said that like the setup, this was more of a setup, I think, or foreshadowing for how this whole thing may end. And I mean that in the sense of like the clones that do live, including Clone Force 99, like any of them that do actually make it. I think that this is now you've created a part of the lore of Star Wars of like this is a place in theory that they can go and disappear, and you don't have to actually kill off all of these characters. We don't need to see them all because let's be honest, like you can't just have the Clone Force 99 just keep running around as renegades. That
Right?
throws off like what we do know from a timeline, Star Wars timeline standpoint. My point is it can only go for so long, right?
Yeah.
There's some consistency issues where you'd be saying, hold on a second, I'll come there out there running around and we don't see them in X, Y, and Z. Um, where now you've created a part of the lore to say, like, I still think Tech will die. I think Tech
Okay.
won't make it out. And I don't know about any other, clone members that may not make it. But the ones that do, like I could see Hunter, I could see Omega, I could see, maybe Wrecker, like I could see them just being the ones that we see stay behind, at this place in the end to kind of call it their new home and ride off into the sunset in theory at that location. And basically, like there's no reason they made it clear for the Empire to come. However, they did also leave the door open because they also said like essentially we got some heat if they want to bring some fire we got something we can take care of ourselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I don't know if that's a foreshadowing that we will, because at first I was like, oh, they're saying that and we're going to see the Empire just show up and take Omega in this episode. They didn't do that. They never came here. So obviously they have to leave this planet or we're going to see an invasion on this place, for them to take Omega. But if you do this right, you let them leave, something draws them out. Maybe they hear a crosshair's been taken or something and it leads them out. That's kind of how they bring in Omega, right, to them to be captured, right, from the Empire. Like that would be to me the way to go. Because if you have the Empire just show up on this island, that kind of to me undoes like the whole point of this whole episode. Like the show, like, hey, we could settle down, but that goes out the window the moment those guys show up because now it's in their records. It just doesn't make any sense. There's no peace. There's
Yeah.
no point to go back there. You'll be found again. So yeah, this is some predictions, some thoughts. Hopefully, we do see something that draws them out of here, and maybe they come back to there at a later episode.
Yeah, yeah. It kind of set up an invasion thing, right? And even
Mhm.
even when Hunter was like, "Oh yeah, something's coming," it was like it was just an earthquake. It wasn't
Right.
like it wasn't. I was thinking that they were gonna turn around and there was a star destroyer there, and I was,
Same.
but it ended up being just a natural thing that happened in the planet, and it's you know uncommon, but they've had that same problem in the past based on what they were talking about. So yeah, I mean, it was fine. I mean, it was a good episode, but at the same time, it's one of those it's filler for sure. I mean, it
Absolutely.
could be setting up for something else, but this episode could have been an email. But it was still a good episode.
Nice,
That's the thing,
nice.
right?
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree.
Yeah,
But especially you put it in context to what we just had, like last week, what we had that crosshair episode.
yeah,
That was
it
so
was so good,
good.
man.
So
Holy
that when
crap!
you jump to this, it's like it's nice,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah.
ain't last week.
No, totally, totally. You know what? Wasn't that last week? It was Mando.
Oh
Okay. All right. All
yeah,
right. All
yeah.
right.
Let's talk. Let's talk.
I'm gonna get sweaty
Please,
here, sir. I,
please, please take it
I'm gonna get
away.
sweaty. Okay. So, and the whole Mando Bo-Katan thing, that was cool, right? That sequence with the TIE fighters, excellent, really good stuff, right? And then the ending where you know Bo was like, well, I mean, coincidentally, I got into the waters and I haven't removed my helmet, so welcome to the club, welcome to the cult. And then that was all cool, right? But freaking Dr. Pershing, man, because I mean, we've known that it's been 2 years since the end of Mando season two. Like we've gotten that, and I think John Favreau was there. They asked him where does it fit in the timeline. It's like, oh yeah, this is 2 years after Luke to Grogu, right? So we got that context, right? So we see Pershing trying to kind of like amend some of his past sins, and he's trying to get into the good graces of the New Republic and trying to help any way he can. And the best way that he can help with is with cloning and using that tech to prolong life and help sick people and all that. And he wants to do that, but you know because of everything that happened in the past, the New Republic has banned that research and all that. And was the female officer, how we saw her before briefly, right?
Yeah, with last season.
Last season, yeah. Okay. um I knew from the time, right, that so I had a suspicion and I was wrong, right? But well, I mean, I don't know if I'm wrong, right? We'll know
Okay.
later. But I thought that she was gonna be like, oh yeah, you could continue your research and keep helping the Republic. Like I thought that she was actually going to help him get the equipment because they wanted him to continue the research for Snoke and Palpy in the sequels. So I thought that was the plan all along, right? But no, it turns out that she actually turned him in, and basically it ended up with with him getting mind wiped more than likely. So um, I don't know, right? It's like, do they want to research what's going on, right? Like that's
Hmm.
now when
Yeah.
I have questions, which is good, right? Because it's like, well, okay, well now we have questions about this. What the heck's going on? And based on what Gideon said last season. Oh, and that's another one. Another thing is like, oh yeah, Gideon like escaped during a transport. That was dropped like casually during the
Yeah.
episode.
The rumors, some people say.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my sources are saying.
Oh no. All right, Doom.
All right, and so yeah, I mean, it was interesting. It was a really good episode, right? Because there's a lot of mystery behind it, and um, a lot of like Empire backstabbing and whatnot. But she's still working for. There's no way that she's not still working for Gideon. I mean, she totally is, right? That's my assumption, at least. So, I mean,
Yeah.
First Order or whatever, maybe. I don't know. The beginnings.
Or Thrawn.
Oh yeah, yeah, could be. Yeah, I mean, space whales were dropped in the first episode casually, right? They're setting up for that.
Ahsoka's coming.
Yeah, 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 yeah. You're right. Yeah, they didn't think of Thrawn. So, but yeah,
And
man. I mean,
some people believe that that was Thrawn, a part of Thrawn's fleet that was chasing Bo-Katan in the beginning of the episode. There's
oh
some people
really? Okay.
there's some I'm not one of those people because I'm not going to pretend to say that I recognized it, but there are some out there who are really strongly saying that
Probably
they
markings on the Tie
recognize
Fighters.
they recognize yep on the TIE fighters on the ships and stuff that was a
Okay.
part of Thrawn's fleet.
Okay.
So I don't want to say with certainty, but there's definitely an inclination that it's got to either be Thrawn or Gideon, if not both, which could be interesting.
Oh man, can you imagine them like pushing against each other? It's like
I know they
Thrawn
both want
wants
to be
to do.
powerful.
Yeah, yeah, because Thrawn wants to do his thing, and then Gideon wants to do his thing, and then out of nowhere comes Snoke. Like we're to the point, right? I was like we're still about 24 years removed from episode 7, right?
Hmm.
So it's supposed to be 30 years after, right?
Hmm.
So I mean, there's still time. There's still I
Right,
mean, there's still plenty of time that they can we don't need
plenty of
Snoke.
adventure.
Yeah,
Plenty.
we don't need Snoke right now, right? I know that more than likely, eventually, this show is gonna lead up to that, right?
Yeah.
But we still got time to just do galaxy hijinks. But yeah, man, what do you think of all the perching stuff? That was pretty good.
Yeah, yeah. So my reaction just in general to the episode with the Dr. Pershing stuff was like now we have a lot more questions than we have answers. Like this episode made you question a lot of things, have to guess and try and figure out and fill in the gaps. And I'm okay with that because we have plenty more Mando to go. Like we got plenty more time to come in and considering how like we mentioned in the last episode how uh the whole theme of Mando having to bathe in the waters, right, to be no longer an apostate, like you know, you could imagine that could have taken 3 or 4 episodes had it been any other network, right, that put this out. But they jumped to the point. So clearly, with this whole thing with Dr. Pershing, it's incredible. It's very critical to whatever the remainder of the episodes are going to be for this show. I have a sneaking suspicion that we're gonna get Gideon like next episode. I think like this is I think whoever and what was it Ava the name of the captain that
Yeah,
joins up with,
yeah, oh
right,
yeah.
that she reveals what her name is, right.
Mm-hmm.
um her I could see her basically going back to meet with her master in essence of whoever she's working with, and that's probably gonna where we're gonna get that reveal pretty early on. So I don't think we're gonna be guessing this Thrawn and Gideon thing back and forth for very long.
Yeah,
Um, her motivations to have Dr. Pershing taken out, very curious. To me, it's almost like
yeah,
she just wanted to get another chess piece off the table, is how I looked at it. Because at first I thought, like you said, oh, this is a connection to, the sequel trilogy where, we're gonna finally get that whole like the first bits of Snoke and this and whatever. Or even further, like we literally heard the Plagueis music. Are you trying to say that like maybe there was a failed attempt to bring Plagueis back or something? I could see John and Dave trying to do something that's like goes very bold. They're not afraid to do. When they put Luke in the end of the last season, come on, guys, they're not afraid to do big things.
they put Luke and Ahsoka in the same scene.
And the same thing, come on, guys. Like these guys and Boba Fett, they don't care.
Yeah.
And that's okay. But to me that's a little more reaching. I was but I was like, hey, there's gonna be some kind of connection to the clone, because they kept saying that. But I take it now more so like the moment that she got him turned in and then made sure that it wasn't enough for him to be captured, but he had to have his head scrambled. That probably has to do with something to do with her getting off the board. It's kind of cool how like she had the red ice cream and he had the blue ice cream, kind of symbolizing like the dark side, like something very evil about her going on. I mean, you sense everything was off anyways.
Yeah.
He felt very uncomfortable. Even the way Dr. Pershing was carrying himself, he was very uncomfortable throughout the episode. He was being pushed towards these feelings and emotions he was processing. Yeah, I don't want to make too many predictions because I think we're gonna get our answers very quick. But yeah, I made a comment on social media saying like, on I think it was on the Rotten Tomatoes account or something, because they were asking like people to drop their response and reviews, whatever for it, and I said, hey, this gives us more questions than it does answers, and I'm okay with that. There's more Mando to go, bro. The internet, there's this guy saying, if you see him out there, that's up to you. I'm not telling people to attack anybody. I'm not doing that. I'm just commenting on it.
Okay.
But he says, oh, how could you say that? This show is such a snooze fest. Nothing's happened so far. This episode has nothing of importance for the future. And I'm going like, are you watching the same show that I'm watching?
It's like IGN. Well, IGN gave this one an 8.
And I'm not saying this is even a great episode. I want to be clear. Like,
Yeah.
I think it's a good episode, but like first episode, we had the IG88 or IG11, whatever it is, IG11 had him basically being set up to be brought back, right? You got your space pirates set up for the future. Your second episode, they went and the guy went back to the city of Mandalore that was supposed to be destroyed and cursed and knows supposed to go to and bathed in the waters. And we saw the Mythosaur that's supposed to be the thing that now Bo-Katan's gonna probably have to ride on. It's because she can't get the Darksaber, but if she rides on that thing, people will fall behind her, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then in this episode here, we get obviously the setup of Bo-Katan and Mando coming back to the Mandalorians, telling them the waters are not cursed, everything's clear. Come on, you're gonna tell me that nothing has happened in this show? I'm not saying that it's been a roller coaster that we're getting on these super fast, parts of it, but things are happening.
And it goes back to what we talked about last season, right? Because we want every episode to be Luke shows up, right? And not every episode is gonna be that, because it's like, what's the point, right, of being just overwhelmed all the time with his episodes,
right?
So, and I don't. I mean, it has to do with the fan base, and you gotta understand that it, storytelling takes time. Not everything's gonna be the culmination. It's like, what are you gonna do for the end, right? It's like you gotta savor it, and then you get your big finale and whatnot, your 2-parter or whatever. So, people need to understand that. And I was like,
right.
The same thing happened last season. And it's like, and I can see it for Boba Fett, right? Because Boba Fett had it was different director. The way it was written with a lot of flashbacks and here and there, and then
I called it, bro.
Mid-season,
I called it with that show.
Yeah, mid-season, that's when it actually got, when Mando showed up, that's when the show got good, right? And even the finale, for a lot of people thought that it wasn't good. I thought that last episode was actually quite good for Boba Fett. So, but you have to power through up until you see Mando. So you can probably skip until you see Mando and you'll be fine.
And you're good.
Yeah. So, we'll see. But we do have some more Star Wars news here coming up. But let's take a break and we will be right back. And we are back. It's a good transition there.
It is. It is.
Yeah. So uh, this week we during an interview, Bob Iger said that they are being very careful with developing the next Star Wars films in the wake of Solo's performance in the box office, and I think overall reception had to play a lot with that. I think more than Solo. I know that he doesn't want to probably say it, right? But the Rise of Skywalker had to play in it too. Like, there's no going around it.
It did, but financially, you can't deny it. When Solo's the worst financially performing, that's why it's the easy one to point at.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Like I agree. I agree with you. Like Rise of Skywalker is absolutely like if Rise of Skywalker was anything close to Avengers Endgame, which is what it should have been,
Yeah,
then we wouldn't be having this conversation. We would care
absolutely.
less about a Solo flopping.
Yeah,
So yes, you're right. You're right.
yep. Because for every Avengers, you would get a Dark World, but you know, no one asked for that movie, right?
Yeah.
I know that this was probably a passion project somewhere inside Lucasfilm for a very long time, but I need he's right. He's 100% right, and we've been saying this for a very long time, and we said it after Rise of Skywalker. This is the time where you need to take a step back, right, and
Yeah.
let Mando cook and do his thing, and you take a step back, and you plan this out properly, and you just don't give us a movie just because fans want a movie. This is the moment for you to plan it, and plan it again, and have coherence between all the the next series of movies or whatever you're working on. Like, I know that you know what, and again, it may be too early, but I think that if they bring back Ray, right, and they bring back someone that can pen out a cohesive story from beginning to end, like a Ray trilogy, I think fans will be on board because you have the planning, you have the writing, you keep that same core people working in tandem to make this project. You can't have a different writers for each movie because
Mm-hmm.
then you know that's where things go south, and you end up with Chris Terrio in your writing team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry, I
That's
had to say it.
once you get Chris in your team. Oh,
Just like, I had to say it, right? It's I'm not saying that he does great patchwork. That's what he's good at.
that's what he's
That's what he's
done.
good
Yeah,
at.
that's his career.
That's his thing, right? But the
Yep.
moment you call him in, you're in trouble. So you gotta make sure that
It's pretty good.
the Chris Terrio is very far away from this project, and you have a team that's dedicated, working in synergy and moving this thing along. You know, but I don't know. He also had some stuff to say about Marvel, Joe. But go ahead.
Yeah, I 100% agree. Like when he's talking about taking it slow and really reevaluating, I think it's the smart thing to say. He's gotta, Pop Iger's gotta step in and bring balance to the force right now, and that's the right thing to do. Now, I still think, like I said this last week, this is still an indictment on Kathleen Kennedy. The fact that Star Wars, we're talking about, it's going to be at least 5 years till we have a brand new movie since the last movie came out. Film. I'm talking about TV shows. A Star Wars movie, 5 years we're going to go at least without a new Star Wars film. That is insane. I could not imagine Marvel saying 5 years, let's stop right now. In 5 years, you're going to get a new movie. Can you imagine them doing that?
Yeah, it's tough. That's
I'm
tough.
not saying 5 movies or all. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying one movie. I think it's the right decision that they stop and that Star Wars disappears from the big screen until they get the right thing. I think I'm okay with this.
Oh,
Look,
absolutely. Yeah.
we lived through the wait from the prequel to the sequels, right? That was a long time.
Then, and from the
Um,
from the OT to the
from the OT to the prequel.
yeah, OT to the prequels, yeah. That's
Yeah, it was a long time.
yeah.
So we know what it means to wait, but this is a different time. You've got Disney behind you. So I think Iger's saying the right things. I'm not and also I want to be clear when I said earlier on about how like Rise of Skywalker should have been Avengers Endgame. I don't mean that it should have been like the top box office movie of all time or something. I'm not saying that, right? It doesn't need to be Avatar: The Way of Water. I'm just saying the movie needs to be something
Bro,
that is a spectacle, that's an event that people have to go out and watch.
just that edit that someone on the internet did and added the Force Ghosts at the end. Just that one
That's what
thing.
I'm saying.
That
Yep.
one simple thing, dude.
Bring the saga
It
together.
just changed the movie, the ending of the movie so much that it's like, come on, man. Yeah, honestly,
Yeah.
they really, oh, man, talk about dropping the ball, man.
Right.
And it's unfortunate. And I know, I mean, what's that um the Jurassic World guy, director that did
Yes.
the that was on for to do the third movie, and
Gareth Edwards
no,
or
Gareth Edwards
no
was Rogue One.
Rogue One. Sorry.
Um, though Joel's fact
Yeah,
checking here.
I am. He
Yes,
is
this guy, Jurassic World man.
Colin Trevorrow.
Yeah, Contrar. Yeah. So I mean, he did some weird and wacky things on his like the best car helmet for Kylo Ren, and that like some of the things that baby, that evil baby Sith that he found in like a bog or something, that
Yes.
it was all funky and weird, but it actually tied up things better than Rise of Skywalker in certain areas, right? I would say that probably you could have taken half of these ideas and mixed it up with Rise of Skywalker, and that probably would have given you a better movie, honestly.
See, but this is the problem. Like you already just nailed it when you said early on.
You need
Like you have multiple teams involved. You're gonna have like this where you're gonna say this is good, that is bad. Wish they could have done this. Wish they could have done that. You don't have something that's stitching it together to have one straight build up of a story. Whether that's the same writing team, whether it's the same directors, or if that's just someone being like Kevin Feige, who's just holding it all together and taking a leadership and saying, "This is the plan we are sticking to. You come in is what we're gonna do." Not okay, sure. You sell me on this, you sell me on that. It's too all over the place.
so this reminds me of Sonic 2, not the movie, the video game.
Okay, I was like,
So Sonic 2, um I can't remember if it's half and half or if it's 2/3 and a third, but I know that there are some levels that were designed by, you know, the OG team in Japan and Juji Naka and this guys, right? And there was a few levels that were done in the US, like by Sega of America. And you can tell which levels are the ones that Sega of America made. And that's
savage.
the same thing that happened with Star Wars. It's like, oh,
Yep.
you know who did this thing, and I know that I don't. They were in a tough spot, right? They lost Carrie Fisher, and
Yes, that threw off plans.
that was really really unfortunate, and to this day, eh,
It's
whether
dark.
you like it or not, it really cost us, having the I guess the movie that fans deserved, and also the what she deserved as a send off. I think, I mean, her send off was heroic, right? But because of the limitations that they had to work with, it just wasn't as impactful. I think the impact came with Chewie was just crying on the floor. That's what got me, right? But they were in a tough spot, and it's very
we
unfortunate.
never had the OG trilogy people together.
That was never the plan.
I can't believe
That was never the
no
plan,
one
right?
said in a meeting said, nah, we got to at least have one last mission together.
Yeah,
I understand. I'm not even against necessarily killing them off, and that's a hot topic for me to say that. Like,
yeah,
I understand that's not well received in all Star Wars, right?
yeah.
But
Like you could have offed Han and still had that have all three of them,
right,
right?
plan it better, right?
That's the thing.
That they have to be together at some
Planned it
point,
better, yeah. It's the planning, right?
right?
And that's what the problem is. So I don't know. We'll see what the future holds for my favorite franchise. And hopefully they can. I mean, the ship's been turned for sure, right? Mando
I agree.
has given us, you know, absolutely incredible moments, better than the sequel trilogy, and I think Andor still like
Yep.
absolutely masterful tale, of war and all that. It's fantastic. So, and then there's Boba Fett,
Which I would
which
still
I
watch.
gotta
I
still,
would still
yeah,
watch There's parts of Boba Fett
yeah,
that are just awesome.
yeah, exactly, like a bantha. So, all right, yeah, and then and then Jill, what did he mention about Marvel? Because I only read the Star Wars part because I'm burnt out on Marvel.
Yeah.
So.
Well, well, the long and short of it is that Iger was saying that everything's fine with Marvel, and that basically there's nothing inherently off, but you don't need every character to have a sequel. Like that a continuation of their stories. We can do new things. And you're saying, and like I do think that there is a problem with the brand, and I think a lot of people have said like he's what he's saying here is again damage control, um, but like he basically is saying like in the next Avengers movie, next Avengers films, his exact quote was to the shareholders, is people were saying like they're gonna reset the entire team, like there's gonna be entirely new Avengers. I don't think it's entirely new. Like we've already seen Spider-Man be an Avenger, we've already seen Hulk be an Avenger, but I don't mean that they're gonna be in it. We feel pretty. I feel pretty confident saying they're going to be in it, but we don't know that.
I have a prediction. I don't have
Yeah,
my Wolololo stick here with me.
please. Oh,
I don't have my
the
Wolololo
lightsaber of truth.
stick. Yeah, the lightsaber of truth. Um, so I have a prediction, and because this broke this morning, I think Willow is not renewed for a second season. That was canceled straight up.
Shocker.
I don't. Other than a mutual friend of ours, I don't think anyone watched.
I heard good things early, and then I didn't hear anything again.
Yeah.
And I was like,
So,
oh,
with that said, I think She-Hulk season 2 is completely out of the question at this point. Like that's
yeah,
said and done. There's no way it's gonna happen, dude.
yeah,
There's no way. Like if they did that to Willow, they're come on. No,
right.
I'm getting actually angry thinking about She-Hulk right now.
It's so enraging.
Oh, all right. Well, fine.
Well, like I said, maybe there's always a secret invasion, and they can use that.
Yeah.
The scrolls to fix everything. Oh, you thought She-Hulk was acting weird? Was it
That's
really her?
was it really her? Exactly.
Then all's forgiven.
Yep. Talk about race inducing, at least for some people, right? I am indifferent towards it, but a trailer for The Little Mermaid dropped this past
Oh,
Sunday
okay,
during the
okay.
Academy Awards, and it reaction to it was to be expected? Question mark. Like I said, I'm indifferent towards it. I
Yeah,
actually think it looks pretty cool, right? Like the
sure.
underwater thing and all that,
Yeah,
right? Um, I mean, it seems like it's pretty faithful to, the Disney movie. That's all I'm gonna say. I don't want to get into controversy. Like I said, I'm indifferent. I have no problems with casting choices and all that. I'm over that. I really don't care. But As long as it's a competent actor, I really don't care that who you pick to play your characters. It's fine, right? That they've. I think that for a lot of people, this is very disappointing, but to me, it looked fine. I don't. I don't see why. I mean, I'm not gonna go watch this movie. Like, it's not the movie for me, right? It's like, oh, I'm
The
gonna go
wife
out of my
always say,
way.
"Come on, open."
She watched the trailer and she was indifferent towards it too. So,
See, okay,
you
okay,
know, which is interesting
yeah.
because we saw. Did we see Cinderella in the movie theater? The remake.
Cinderella was good.
It was good. Yeah, and we have it on Blu-ray.
Yeah,
And we, Beauty
Cinderella's
and the
not
Beast.
not
Yeah,
talked about much. That's good.
no, it was good. And Beauty and the Beast was good. I thought it was
Yep.
actually it was quite good.
Yeah.
Even with Emma Watson's autotune, it's fine.
Right. So,
Yeah,
right. Well, here's the thing, right? So people aren't mad about Emma Watson, with the auto tune, all like they're not mad with the casting with that.
no,
But then you've got like an actual singer playing Ariel,
yeah, no, right, right.
which sounds really good. Like,
She
close your
does.
eyes and just listen to her singing,
She does.
and you're
Yeah,
like, this is Ariel. This is
yeah.
great.
She does.
Um,
I just thought. I know where people are coming from, right?
yeah.
And it's a whole why is Goku white from Dragon Ball Evolution, and I hate it, right? But
Yeah, I hear you.
Dragon Ball Evolution could have cast, Donnie Yen back then. He was young
Yeah.
as Goku,
Yeah.
and it was still a bad movie that didn't save
Right.
it, right?
That's true. That's true. Good point. Yeah. That's a good point.
So that's the thing, right? As long as you have a competent actor playing the role, I don't care who that character is. It is what
Yeah.
it is. It's fine, you know. But
To me, they're holding out on the Melissa McCarthy stuff. Like they're only showing certain parts of her. I don't think that's going to be good.
mm,
I think that's actually out of all the things that I took away.
see,
I think
but
Ursula
but
might not be great.
here's the thing, right? And my only question they have to, but two, right? Two opinions I have about that is, Ursula is it's probably one of the more over the top Disney villains out there,
Hmm.
from the original, right? To have Melissa McCarthy do it here, I think it's actually quite a good choice.
Oh, I don't have any problem with the
Yeah.
casting.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the problem. I
It's
just
'cause
don't think that
the
the
portrayal.
character's gonna visually
Okay.
going to
Oh,
work
visually.
is what I
Okay,
think.
okay.
Like they are hiding, and I think it's because it's not great. That's just my theory.
Okay. I see
Of
where
all
you're
the
coming from.
characters to hide, showing
Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
much of at least.
Yeah. Who are you gonna play? Who are you gonna have to play? Like human Ursula?
Right.
Yeah,
Right. I know.
that's the
I know.
question.
There's that I don't mind them holding out on, like, because that's just
Yeah.
gonna be a human, right? That's
That could
fine.
be
But
it could be a
why-
surprise. Yeah.
It could be a surprise, right? But why regular Ursula is a little, we get everything else, Sebastian and
Also,
King
yeah,
Trident.
Sebastian freaked me out, dude.
Yeah,
And I get it, right?
it's like the Lion King.
Realism, yeah. No, well, not
like
even
the
because
Lion
at least
King.
the Lion King, you get a lion. It's hard to have the expressions, but it's still competent, right? Because it looked really, really good.
Same.
But Sebastian, and I think it's just my disdain for shellfish in general.
Wait,
And
I thought you were gonna eat a shrimp on the show.
I
With
just
the,
find I
the
just
switch.
I just found here. You know what? I found Sebastian offensive out of all the things in this trailer
Clip it.
because I hate shellfish, and here's this red crab with its weird antenna eyes looking at the camera, talking like a Jamaican dude. You're freaking me out, bro.
But that's the character, Obed.
No.
You want them to
Character
change
has
the
a
character?
He has a human mouth, Joe. I don't know. Give him a. I don't want to see that. It was like, hey, this look pretty good, Ariel. No, that's terrible.
Yeah, but that's like I'm saying, it's for realism. It's for realism.
Oh no.
This isn't a cartoon.
It was disgusting. It It was offensive, Joe. I am offended by the red
You are
crab.
offended that it looked like a real
I am offended that
crab.
it looked like a real crab.
How dare they make a
I,
crab look like a real
how
crab?
dare how dare they try to make me empathize with shellfish?
Disney's gonna love this. Oh boy.
Uh, I'm good. I'm good.
That's
We're
good.
joking. Like I said, the movie's not for me.
Yeah.
Will I watch it? Probably. I may watch it with a wife whenever it's on Disney
Sure,
Plus.
sure, yeah.
Honestly,
Makes
that's
sense.
the thing. With all things considered, right? I think that Peter Pan thing that they showed a few weeks ago, if we let's go into Disney
Oh
Plus,
yeah.
looked way worse.
That did not look great.
Okay,
That did not look
so
great. Yeah.
pause. So is this? Are these two projects JPEG projects?
Let's fact check. When
Okay.
was this put into production?
Okay. Because this has paycheck written all over it.
I agree. July 2021.
Okay. Yep.
January to July 2021. Does that sound like
Yeah. Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, because it was 2020. Yeah.
All
So
right. Well, this is like I didn't need my lightsaber of truth, but I still got it. I still got the
I
touch,
can't
man.
wait.
I still got the touch. All right.
Well, look. Here's the
Yeah.
thing, though.
Okay.
The thing with the Peter Pan situation and Little Mermaid, and I think just in general, some of the future of these animated adaptations to live action.
Congratulations to
stuff I
Guillermo del
think-
Toro by winning over everything on
Right.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the ones from the Disney side just has to do with them just trying to retain rights. I think that's just what it is. Keeping the IP close to Disney. There's probably plenty of legal stuff involved. I'm not saying that they're not trying to make quality projects out of them. I'm not saying that at all. But I do think that there's why all of a sudden are we getting a bunch of these being remade?
Okay.
Because Disney's not original anymore? No,
I'm gonna-
Disney has original concepts for sure.
I'm gonna blow your socks off with an original concept, sir. You've been to Filler Magic, right?
Yep.
Why not make a CG Little Mermaid, like Frozen? You would make double the money, dude.
I don't know, man.
No, bro. You know what? I showed the trailer to my daughter today. And you know what she said? I'm not gonna watch it because it's real people.
It's real people. How dare they bring
How
real
dare they
people?
replace?
A real
How
mermaid.
dare they put real
Disney, how
people?
dare you do?
Yeah. And that Ariel
She
on
probably heard you talking about the crab, and she was like, "Yeah, Dad, it looks too real."
that Ariel on the Little Mermaid on sequence on Filler Magic looks excellent. Why not make like a stylized?
It's starting to look old. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, but I mean, but it still looks fine, right?
No, sure, it works. Yeah.
So, but they could have done that. Make double the money. They could have doubled the money. If this movie's probably gonna do like what, like $150, probably like 200, maybe. I don't know.
I don't know, man. I don't know. It's very. I think the reviews are gonna really tell us.
Okay.
Because if the reviews are really bad,
Yeah.
then I think we're not even gonna get 100,000 for opening weekend. I'm talking about all overall opening weekend specifically, which is the real make or break.
Yeah.
But if the reviews are decent, I'm not even saying great, but just decent, I think we can crack 100K. Don't underestimate the Disney. Disney people
you mean
will
100K
pay,
meaning like a million or like
100
a
million.
billion?
100 million. 100 million. My bad.
Oh, okay,
100
okay,
million.
100 million. Okay.
100 million opening weekend. I think if it's good, just because again, don't underestimate the Disney.
Sure,
These are the people who will stand in line for popcorn buckets and all this stuff. I will not battle those people.
Do you see that Mario's tracking for 90 million opening week?
I think that's so underestimated.
It is, right?
That could be double that.
Bro, that movie's gonna make 2 billion.
I'm telling you right now, that could be 200.
Yeah,
could be 150 to 200 for opening weekend.
It's probably gonna be the you know what?
In America, not worldwide.
okay, Wolololo stick again. Um, I think this movie is probably gonna be the biggest opening since like maybe Spidey. Like,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
cause so
I agree.
yeah.
They're not. The theaters aren't ready.
Oh yeah, no, they're not ready. So
And if for some reason it ain't, week 2 is going to be amazing. It's
oh
going to be
yeah,
one of those which I
yep,
think regardless, both ways it's going to be amazing.
yeah.
Because word of mouth's going to be really,
And
really
that
good, assuming that the
yeah,
reviews come out fine.
and then third week's gonna be Easter week and you know that people are gonna go.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
get your family, get your
So
kids.
that movie is probably gonna be number
Yep.
one for like a month, dude.
Yeah, bro.
Yep. All right.
And it's only an hour and a half. They can have so many showings constantly going.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, man. It's gonna be good. All right. W, what are you doing? Joel, tell us what's going on in the WBs this week.
Oh, Warner. So yeah, we're having a week right now. And a lot of it picked up from yesterday.
Yeah.
We had starting yesterday, and I don't think I had this on the docket. You probably got to see it, Obed, but basically Zack Snyder on Twitter teased something said hashtag full circle. I don't know if you got to see this, Obed.
Yep.
And basically said save the date. This thing coming out in April 28th through the 30th, and it had a dark seed, little stinger kind of thing attached to it, right? So very bizarre. And that most people started to guess what even that's supposed to mean. Within an hour, I want to say, after that came about, James Gunn jumps on Twitter, personally announces on his own accord, "Yeah, guys, it's true. I'm directing the new Superman movie. I've always wanted to. My dad died, years ago, and he loved, we bonded over comics. We didn't bond over much, but comics was our thing. Real personal story, all this kind of stuff, right? Saying like how like he really wants to make Superman Legacy special, which is cool, but you cannot think that timing is not more ironic
Mm-hmm.
because the DC Zack Snyder people, they were going crazy on social media when that video, because they were like, oh, this means something's happened, because there's been
The Netflix
the
rumors are
Netflix thing
real.
that everybody
Real,
keeps
yeah.
wanting, right? Keeps saying
Yeah.
stuff. So if you go on the No Load Time Twitter, you'll see. I'm gonna pull up the results right now. But if you go on the No Load Time Twitter, jumped into the conversation, we put out a poll, said, what do you think the Zack Snyder announcement is he's teasing? First option was Snyderverse is saved. Second option was he's directing a DC film. The third option was SnyderCon, which I don't know if you saw the rumors. There was someone that I do not believe to be believed to be that reputable, but even a broken clock, is right once. Said that there's actually going to be a SnyderCon announcement. And then last I said was to something else. Out of those answers, we had over 21 votes, and we got Snyderverse saved was 43%. Right behind it was he's directing a DC film, 29%. SnyderCon, 14%, something else, 14%. So most people believes that the Snyderverse was saved based on the poll that we put out.
Yeah.
That's how strongly this thing started picking up with just a simple tweet with that video. Incredible. I don't believe that the Snyderverse is saved. I'm sorry. I don't believe that that he's directing something for DC either. Personally, wouldn't be surprised if it's something much smaller than we think it is. Like he's writing a comic. Like he's writing a Darkseid comic or something.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah, he's dipping his feet in that, or
man, but why do it like that though? And have people Because he knows, right? He knows his fan base, and
He knows his fan base. Or to me, I would say you have a better chance of him saying April 28th through 30th, something like that, that weekend, whatever. We're going to be showing my Justice League in theaters in IMAX. I could see that also. Like, go get to the theaters and go watch this thing in IMAX these days. But the timing, the fact that even Gunn isn't chiming in saying anything against it, he just puts out this thing to kind of look at this hand. I know you like Snyder versus Superman and Henry Cavill, but like, look over here. You know, I'm making a movie, guys, that you already announced, but I'm directing it.
Yep.
Come on, bro, it's posturing.
And he just jumped on it. It's like, yeah, Superman's mine. Yeah.
Very awkward timing.
Yeah, it is.
Then we get today the Batfleck stuff. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Ben Affleck has a few different quotes. One of them, he said in an interview, he was talking about how he's like, I finally got I finally got it down, you know, acting as Batman. I finally figured it out in this movie, the Flash movie he's referring to. But he's like, I'm only in it for 5 minutes, which we all figured wasn't gonna be that much anyways, but dang, that's really short.
Yeah.
And then the real kicker was when he was asked about directing a Batman movie. And he straight up said, I will not be directing anything for James Gunn and DC.
And then people started going crazy. I was like, oh, shots fired. And then he came out later today saying, no, you guys took it out of context. It's just that I like the guy, but I don't want whatever they're doing, I don't want to be a part of.
Which made it even worse. Because I had people messaging me saying, the moment you have to say, like, nothing against the guy, continues the conversation. Like, you know what I'm talking about? Like, the moment you do, like, you know, I have to say nothing personal against them, but that is, I mean, this is the guy that James Gunn personally makes a statement. We went out and we just ate the other day together. We broke bread and we were and he straight up said, we got receipts, folks. We are looking, I am talking to him about directing because Ben Affleck wants to direct something for DC and we're figuring it out. And then Ben Affleck's like, oh, no. I don't want to do a thing specifically with James Gunn. He didn't say DC ever again. He just said James Gunn, which means that this man still has his respect for Zack Snyder. He also called out Joss Whedon in his thing, talking about how depressed he was working with Joss Whedon. He hated himself, and it was terrible. And you could see it. I mean, he got fat in that version. I mean, it was just he was going through personal stuff. It wasn't a good time.
Yeah.
But you know, look, this timing of this stuff just reinvigorates the whole restore the Snyderverse people who won't let it go. We know it's over. It's done. It's not going back.
So
would I like to see Netflix do something where they say the Snyderverse there, but why would they do both? That's a lot of money.
So we're gonna get Justice League 2, Netflix exclusive, directed by Ben Affleck, executive producer Zack Snyder, and everyone's back.
I would watch it.
Everyone's back. Yeah. I mean, honestly,
yeah,
I'll watch it. Yeah. All right, a boy can dream, but yeah.
Yep.
Very, very interesting stuff going over there, sir. We're out of time. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. We got a couple of gaming rumors. You know, Microsoft's out there saying that they are already working on their next Xbox, which is to be expected. These things are usually start about a year after release from the previous gen. And, you know, same goes for PlayStation, PS4, PS5 Pro rumors. Some people saying that's coming out like next month, which is ridiculous, I think. Some other Switch rumors happening because they're started, you know, answering questions about the Switch's future and what they're going to do. So stay tuned for that. But Joel, in the meantime, we're going to
PS5 Pro's coming out 2024.
Is that your lightsaber truth moment? Okay.
I'm not saying that's my lightsaber truth. Yeah. But I'm not saying if it's first quarter or last quarter. I'm not saying what, but 2024.
Okay.
Anyways, folks, thank you so much for sticking with us. We're trying to grow, and we need your help. We need you guys to subscribe. If you're watching, we need to hit the subscribe button on the video on our YouTube channel. You need to subscribe to our podcast, Spotify, SoundCloud, Amazon Music. Please hit that subscribe button, follow. We need that support. It really helps us out. We're trying to grow as much as we can. We're not asking for your money. We're asking for you to click a button. That's all we need you guys to do. Make sure that you're liking the videos, you're sharing these with your friends and family. You also can write a review on the podcast platforms. You could write a review on like Spotify or Apple or Amazon Music, and that also helps people find the show. Follow us on social media. Got to get those numbers up. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, maybe.
For
if
now.
you're in America. But follow us on these places. We really appreciate it. Also, we're on Twitch, so no load time altogether on Twitch. That's no load time altogether. And last but not least, if you have a question, comment, or feedback, you can send an email to noloadtime@gmail.com. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. We got much more coming, so stay tuned. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you guys. Stay safe, and we'll see you again next time.